Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this Warcraft Rumble HEROIC campaign guide, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know to defeat Gish the Unmoving in Plaguelands. Gish the Unmoving is one of the more difficult heroics. At the start of the game, Gish is this statue over here, and once you get it down to half health, there's going to be a huge explosion that's going to insta-kill all of your minis around Gish, and Gish is going to start flying right towards your base and going to try to destroy your base. In the heroic version, it's not just Gish that's a statue, also both of the meeting stones have little Gishes out there who are also going to do the same. You get them to 50% health, then they explode, killing everything around them, and then start flying towards your base. The little Gishes are not nearly as difficult to kill as the main Gish, but that insta-kill explosion mechanic means that it's super difficult to try to push aside, especially if you're underleveled, compared to just popping Gish and then fighting it on. The only way to survive that insta-kill mechanic is to use cheat death. Cheat death can be useful. You want to pop Gish with unbounds here because you don't really want to fight through the side, you just won't have the resources. So typically you use a safe pilot and then you use Whelpex on the other side. Drop the safe pilot first and then the Whelpex. That will maximize the time the Whelpex and safe pilot have on Gish, because safe pilot crash doesn't necessarily kill the skeletons, and then safe pilot will also need to take a shot at it. If you have very high level Whelpex, then cheat death can be a viable strategy, because very high level Whelpex deal a lot of damage to Gish, then you cheat death them, then they can deal a bunch of more damage. But if your Whelpex are underleveled, or even at Gish's level, then that cheat death really doesn't do that much, because they don't deal enough damage anyway, so it's not that good use of resources. There is another way also to pop Gish in addition to safe pilot and Whelpex, because some flyers can actually follow targets and fly up from here. Out of the current pool of minis, that means Batrider and Rend. So sometimes you can also do it like Batrider. You can send Batrider, you have to send it from the opposite side. So from this side if you're going left, and from this side if you're going right. And then it's going to notice the Plague Farmer, shoot that, and then it's going to notice Gish, and then it's going to attack Gish as well. The hard part about Batrider is just that it's really difficult to keep the Batrider alive. Batrider needs a little bit of support to get there, so it's generally not as useful as just safe pilot and whelp eggs. Another important consideration here is this chest here. It can be a bit of a bait. You don't always have to take the chest. It depends on the opening seed. This is one of those very fast maps where the opener matters a lot, so you will need to practice each opener and maybe even adjust your army for that specific opener. Sometimes you can take this chest, it's okay, it's some extra gold, but don't get too focused on it. You can perfectly well do this without taking the chest. If you have a good hand, if the opener is like that, then just don't get over fixated on the chest. After you pop Gish, Gish is going to start flying towards your base, and at that point you have a couple of options. Gish can be tanked by many kinds of tank minis, preferably armored ones. Gish has a cleave attack, so anything close to Gish in the direction Gish is swinging at is going to get hurt and probably going to get destroyed. Which means that for some minis, like if you want to use Harpies here, Harpies are an excellent damage dealer, then you have to turn Gish around. And that typically happens with Earth Elemental. Earth Elemental is armored, so Earth Elemental can take a couple of hits. It can also happen with Quillbore, but Quillbore dies much faster. You can also tank Gish with regular tanks. Even something like a Ghoul can tank Gish a little bit. Those tanks can't hit Gish, that means that they're just going to walk past, and then Gish is eventually going to lose interest unless they are already dead by then. So if you use a non-unbound tank for Gish, then that means that you can't use Harpies, you have to use ranged attackers so that Gish doesn't just kill them immediately. You can also tank Gish with Gargoyle, but I found that a little bit too expensive, especially on lower levels. Gargoyle is a super good tank here. Otherwise, because it's armored, it can take multiple hits from Gish, and it also stays fighting against Gish because it's going to be able to attack air. But I just found that it cost too much, I just didn't have the funds to properly use it. So, you want to pop Gish, optionally you want to take the chest, Gish is going to start attacking you. You have different strategies for killing Gish, either you tank it a little bit with ranged attackers coming behind, or you turn it around with something like Harpies coming from behind. They also try to navigate all of the minis that Gish is going to send at you, which can include Pyromancers, for example, and those Pyromancers are really tough. Sometimes you might have some minis that are coming from your base and they're taking chest. You can actually wiggle them here back and forth by repeatedly clicking this arrow so that they wouldn't go too far away, so that they are ready to fight against Gish or ready to fight whatever you want them to fight against. But that's pretty much it. There's no There's no easier way to beat Gish because all of these insta-kill effects that can only be mitigated by cheat death means that underleveled you just don't have the funds to go into a fair fight against Gish. But instead you have to rely on various strategies that pop Gish and then kill it when it tries to attack your base. And I have done this with all families, heavily underleveled, level around 20 to 21. And these skills showcase pretty much all the options that you have for defeating Gish. There's a couple that are still missing, like I don't use cheat death, I don't use firehammer. Firehammer with the additional damage to air targets could be useful here. I don't have that talent available, so those are not used, but pretty much every other trick in the book is used, and you can see it from the kills. And this is what they look like in action. So here we go, Heroic Gish with Alliance. Alliance is generally one of the easiest ones because Jaina can slow Gish down. So I recommend saving Alliance for difficult seed. You can see what kind of seed you're going to get, what kind of difficulty is going to be there. Like here, that Cool plus Necro is pretty difficult seed, so it's good that I have Alliance here. So Alliance is able to handle this one. I prefer to save Alliance and Beast for the last ones, if at all possible, because they are the strongest ones or wherever you have difficulty. So now we have the safe pilot, we have the Whelpex in. They're shooting at the Gish, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get enough damage in before the respawns. It's very, very close. They actually couldn't quite do it. I'm popping Gish with an execute. I have a good amount of gold saved, but there is a Pyromancer coming, which is a major problem. So I'm using this Blizzard here to kill the Pyromancer and deal some damage to Gish. I had Jaina out, so that helped. And that means that now I can set Harpies and I need to turn Gish around. The timing is crucial. Miss that timing, Gish is going to kill your Harpies. Now Harpies got in, got some damage from Jaina, got back to execute. Gish is down. Then Heroic Gish with Beast. Beast is another fairly easy one because you have Murk-Eye, and Murk-Eye can give you a bunch of Murlocs that can shoot at Gish. So here, I thought about putting Whelpex first, but Safe Pilot first is better order. Because as you can see now, the safe pilot is going to get the shot off so that as many whelps as possible will survive. Using a Blizzard here, trying to get rid of something. Trying to get rid of the Pyromancer really, but I couldn't. But I have Murlocs with the bubble, and Murlocs with the bubble are really good here because they can survive a hit from the Pyromancer. So boom boom. We got the Pyromancer down. We're not under too much pressure. The Murlocs are doing a good job there. Good job, Murlocs. And now it's time to go in with the Murk-Eye. It's Murk-Eye. It's Harpies, turning Gish around with Earth Elemental, just the right timing, and with all of those Murlocs plus the Harpies hitting at Gish, Gish is just going to go down. Heroic Gish with Blackrock. You can obviously use the safe pilot strategy here as well, but here I'm using the Bat Rider to help me pop Gish. So I'm using Bat Rider on the right side and going left, so that means that it's going to go out there and start hitting at Gish. I often like to position some of my rangers behind my base, so that they will help me defend the base early on. They are not going to get targeted. And then later on they will help me kill Gish. And as you can see, Bat Rider is now shooting at Gish. I have a little bit too little power there. Bat Rider is doing a phenomenal job though. Now there's a Pyromancer that's going to kill pretty much everything. Well, that happens sometimes. So now what I need here is a little bit more power against that Gish. I'm dropping the Whelpex. Whelpex should be able to pop Gish. If they are not, then I have the same Bat Rider setup going in again. I'm also going to be able to take the chest, I believe. Popping Gish, taking chest, full gold. Let's go, Rend is alive. So here I have the Troll. The Troll has poison talent, which helps it deal more damage, and then I have Harpies with poison, of course, and yeah, Troll, Harpies, Gish has been turned around, and Gish is going down. Then Heroic Gish with Horde, so going for that Safe Pilot Whelpex strategy again. Safe Pilot first, then Whelpex. That's going to optimize the kills. Obviously, if you have higher levels, then they just destroy those minis with the explosions, but lower level they need those shots in as well. Now there's a whole lot of stuff coming in. I have to wait for the Pyromancer to commit. You often need to tank with your base, so now Pyromancer committed, and then I was able to drop the Harpies. And now the Harpies are going to be engaged with all of those minis. That means that I will have enough time to get Earth Elemental on Gish. I can get some Bloodlust on the Harpies with the Execute, and I also have the Troll. And the Troll is dealing so much damage to Gish, keeping those poison stacks up, and Gish is just going down. And one more time, Heroic Gish with Undead. I generally found Undead to be the most difficult one, so you would really like to clean out the Undead early whenever you have a good seed to do so, but you will have the easier ones at the end or whenever you meet real difficult seeds. So here I don't have Harpies in this comp. I'm instead relying on Necromancer and a Troll. Necromancer here has the Skeleton talent, but the Mage talent should also work. There's that annoying Pyromancer coming. I had to wait for the Pyroblast hit to go to something else, because otherwise the Ghoul wouldn't last against the Pyromancer. Then I got the Ghoul in, and now I'm actually using the Execute just to get Bloodlust on the Troll and the Necro, so that I can get more damage on Gish. And we're getting some Skeletons out there, we're getting some Whelpegs, and the Ghoul was doing some tanking, and again the Troll is doing a phenomenal job getting all that damage into Gish, then save Pilot, and even with Undead, Gish is down. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.